This episode of Offhand Disney brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. Visit magiccandlecompany.com or use the link in the description, of course, and get 15% off of your entire order when you use the offer code OFFHAND. Thank you to Magic Candle Company for sponsoring this video. Shh, quick, everybody, quiet. Listen to that. Do you all hear that? That, my friends, is the sound of Pirates of the Caribbean. But for the purpose of this video, that is the sound of environmental storytelling, and I think no other attraction does it better, even than the likes of, say, the Haunted Mansion, than Pirates of the Caribbean. It is in a league of its own when it comes to telling a story without anybody talking at you, telling you what to do, and tell you how much you're helping them out on the mission that they're going on. Let me explain. In recent years, you may have noticed that Disney has been going out of their way to make us characters within these attractions, like, say, Spider-Man Web Slingers. We're here to help save Avengers Campus with Spider-Man, or Rise of the Resistance. We're here to escape the Star Destroyer and not divulge the location of the secret Rebel Resistance base. And I still haven't spoiled it for myself yet. I will be going on this attraction in approximately 1 week, but Tiana's Bayou Adventure, apparently we are characters following Tiana around. Just kind of following her around. But you see, back in my day, and by my day, I mean like 30 years before I was born, in the late 1960s, Disney was all about telling that story through the scenes that you saw, through the environment, less through people talking at you. But before we continue, don't get the wrong idea. I don't hate the kind of attractions where people are talking at you, telling you what to do, telling you how much you helped them at the end of the day. I love Cosmic Rewind. I love Rise of the Resistance. They're just a different kind of ride. And I think in a lot of cases, Disney has sort of recently forgotten that less is more. And I am so excited to talk today about the secret storytelling of Pirates of the Caribbean, how Disney can weave a tale together before your very eyes without a single word of dialogue being spoken at you. You've seen the cursed treasure, you know where it be hidden. Now proceed at your own risk. These be the last friendly words you hear. Okay, well, there are a couple lines of dialogue spoken at you, but you can ride the entire attraction with earplugs in your ears and not listen to a single word and still get the gist of the story. And by the gist, I mean you'll still get 98% of the story. It's why I love Pirates of the Caribbean so much, that and it's usually a short wait for a very long and well done attraction. That's also another great reason. And like any other good Disney ride, the story should begin before you enter your ride vehicle, and with Pirates it absolutely does. Although I would argue in this case the California version of Pirates is superior, obviously, but the Florida version does give you better storytelling while you're in the queue for the attraction than the Anaheim version. I'm sorry, but the queue is just better. After making your way through Adventureland, you happen upon an old Spanish fort, one with a skeletal pirate keeping watch over the whole land, and as you go inside, you'll notice that maybe the fort isn't as old as you suspected, and you can see freshly used weapons and storage. You wind your way through the queue looking out over the Caribbean Sea before you finally board your ride vehicles, although there are some skeletons in the queue some places. I don't know what they're doing there, what story purpose they serve, but we could just say that they're pirates that were taken captive and then died in captivity while playing chess. Yeah, that'll work. Whereas at Disneyland, because you are not starting out in the Caribbean, you're starting out in New Orleans, because the ride is located in New Orleans Square, you have to first journey through the bayou out into the Caribbean. So the storytelling in the queue doesn't really begin until you reach the end of the queue, the boarding area at Lafitte's Landing. Hey, I know that guy. At Lafitte's Landing, the dock that you use to board your boat, to board your ride vessel out into the rest of the Caribbean, after making your way through the Blue Bayou. Literally. But there is something that Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean does do better than Walt Disney World's in terms of storytelling before you board your boat, and that is the storytelling outside of the attraction, not in the queue, but in the rest of New Orleans Square. If you know where to look, you may find some hidden secrets. The archway in front of the Haunted Mansion leading to the rivers of America. Lafitte's Anchor, also along the banks of the rivers of America, that shares a strange namesake with the loading area of Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I'm not going to say that the Haunted Mansion and the Pirates of the Caribbean are connected through some pirate guy, whose name I may or may not have mispronounced many times. All I'm saying is that if you click that card right up there in the top right corner of your screen, your eyes will be opened. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Now compare all that atmosphere and story building I just told you about to another really good attraction, Rise of the Resistance. The difference here being BB-8 and Ray and Poe and Beck, they all tell you directly what you're doing, why you're there, and what you have to do during the attraction. And I guess it makes sense in the context of the land, because we are supposed to be active participants in the story of Black Spire Outpost, although that is sort of going more and more by the wayside as time goes on. It's not really a bad thing, it's just a different thing. It's a different thing that I think Disney is leaning too much upon though, unfortunately. Heck, even over at Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at California Adventure, there's a joke that's made about everybody thanking us for our help, thanking us for helping the Guardians of the Galaxy break out of the collector's collection. But Drax raises an amazing point.
We are out of here! Thanks, guys!
Thank you!
Why are you thinking them? They barely stopped it. They did nothing. We did all the fighting. They did not help us at all.
Listen, man, I didn't do anything. I scanned my lightning lane and I sat down. That's about it. You guys did everything. Finn, Poe, Groot, Gamora, you did all the fighting. I was just chilling. And I think this is the aspect that bothers people the most with rides where we are supposed to be active participants helping out in the story. There's a bit of, and sometimes a lot, of narrative dissonance there. We are told that we are helping out, we are here to escape a Star Destroyer, we are here to help Tiana find her secret ingredient, and at the end, they congratulate us, they thank us for our help because we were such an enormous help, when meanwhile we are doing this. We're doing this the entire time. We do nothing. Maybe a little bit in Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, you have to hold out your hands, but doing this isn't quite, it's not fighting off aliens in the Collector's Fortress, is it? There's a bit of a disconnect. It doesn't make thematic sense for them to be thanking us for all of our help when we have done nothing at all to help them. Pirates, this isn't an issue. In Pirates of the Caribbean, Barbossa doesn't care that we're sailing in between him and the Spanish fort. He's not firing at us, he's firing at the fort. We just happen to get caught in the crossfire. The pirates aren't trying to round up our valuables, they're trying to round up the valuables of the people who live in Puerto Dorado. That's the name of the island from the ride, by the way. Again, the most involved we get in the story of Pirates is seeing the cursed treasure, knowing where it's hidden, and now we have to proceed at our own risk because we are cursed now. That's it. In my opinion, it helps the story feel a bit more organic than it would otherwise if we were active participants in the story. Being passive observers is a bit easier. It's a bit more chill and a bit more relaxing. And you know how much I like to relax at the Disney parks on board, some sort of person transporter. But all of this, me talking about passive storytelling versus active storytelling and narrative dissonance, this has all been a rant. This is not what this video is about, actually. No, it's just me talking about how much I prefer one type of storytelling versus another. No, we're talking about the secret storytelling of Pirates, so I guess we can continue on now that we've covered the whole passive observer thing. Pirates at Disneyland eases you into the story before really kicking it off with the ship battle scene, a very large room, a very grand room, a room and scene that sort of serves as a showcase as to what Disney can do. I'd compare it to, say, the AT-AT room in Rise of the Resistance, and yes, that is what they're called, or the Grand Hall scene in the Haunted Mansion. A huge scene that's meant to grab your attention in a very bombastic way and really immerse you in these worlds by just sheer size and scale and effects. But you gotta dip your toe into the pool before you jump in, and that's why the bayou scene is there. That's why the stretching room exists. While also in the same way that you would see in a movie, serving as an establishing shot. You establish where you are, the New Orleans Bayou, setting out on a boat out into the open ocean of the Caribbean. Judging by the ramshackle house and boats on your left-hand side and the relatively big antebellum manor on your right-hand side, it establishes a time period as well. You're not in 2024 Anaheim anymore. All of this being told to us without a single line of dialogue, yet just the chirp of the crickets and the slow strumming of the banjo coming from the inside of this house. It's not until a little bit later, after the liminal sort of weird back alley house, that we get our first spoken words of dialogue by the skull mounted on the archway above our heads. Let me explain, okay? This is still masterful storytelling, I promise. Why, pray tell, is there a disembodied pirate head guarding the entrance to a cave just past a bayou? And depending on what story theory you believe in, there could be a number of reasons as to why. Also, ride theories. Yet another reason why this style of storytelling is just so great. Is the story of the ride this old man sitting in his rocking chair remembering his good old days as a pirate sailing the Caribbean and sacking Puerto Dorado? It could be. The pirate skull could be a metaphorical sort of crossfade between his current life and his past life as a pirate. This is all just theory crafting, though. There isn't really a defined story for Pirates of the Caribbean. There are a series of vignettes that we go past that sort of tell the story of pirates sacking a town. What are those pirates' motivations? Why are they there? What town is this? Where are we in the Caribbean? None of it really matters. You can dig deeper into the extended lore of the ride if you want to find out the answers to those questions, but you don't have to, and it doesn't diminish the story of the ride. In fact, some would say that the vagueness improves the story. You know, in some cases, yeah. We have sort of a main character of the ride that we follow all the way through, Jack Sparrow, but there are also starring characters within these vignettes, like Red and the Auctioneer, or Old Bill. I love Old Bill trying to get those cats as drunk as he is. Don't do it, Bill, leave the cats alone! Walt Disney himself even sold the story of Pirates of the Caribbean as us witnessing a series of scenes of pirates sacking a town, going through a haunted pirate cave before eventually going back up a waterfall.
And all these little streets are going to be very intriguing, little shops and things, and people can wander around in there. And then in here, we have a special attraction. We call it the Blue Bayou Lagoon. People are going to get on a boat here, ride through the lagoon, and then as they get around here, we're going to take them down a waterfall and take them back into the past, into the days of the pirates, you know, where the whole Caribbean area was full of pirates, and they're always sacking towns and things. You believe in pirates, of course.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Walt's line there always sort of disturbed me. I don't really understand it. You do believe in pirates, don't you? Yes. Walt, pirates were real. They existed. They still exist. Pirates aren't imaginary, of course. Who doesn't believe in pirates? Are there pirate truthers out there who say that everything pirate-related is just made up? I don't know. Maybe there are. You never know. Pirate truthers out there.
Now, these sketches here have to do with some of the things that are going to happen when you take this cruise through the pirates' domain. Here's one here. Here's a pirate laden with loot. He's trying to escape. He's got one foot on the dock and one foot on a rocky boat. You know, as the people go by, they see him. He's struggling and everything.
Good luck to him.
Well, he can't make it, or the show would go to pieces. You see, he has to stay there all the time and keep trying to get away.
Walt didn't tell us this pirate's name. Walt didn't tell us this pirate's motivation, although I guess just by looking at him you can tell that he's trying to get away with the treasure, but he just can't quite do it because he's got too much. He's been too greedy. That's environmental storytelling for you, I suppose. But I've been mainly talking about the second half of the attraction with the live pirates pillaging the town of Puerto Dorado. I haven't really been mentioning the beginning, when we're sailing through these caves full of skeletal pirates and cursed treasure. The story is way, way more abstract in the caves. Now, we can make guesses that these were previous pirates who discovered the cursed treasure and then eventually died either by their own greed or the cursed treasure somehow killed them. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl kind of deals with the whole cursed treasure turning pirates into skeletons aspect. They can move, and they're animated, of course. They're not stuck in place like they are on the attraction, but it's the same sort of idea. It's echoes of the ride carrying over to the movie, so maybe we could take echoes of the story from the movie and apply them to the ride? Maybe all these pirates got a hold of the cursed treasure and then froze in their spots and became skeletons. That would explain the skeletal parrot above the pirate in the bed and why he hasn't just crumbled long since to dust. There's just so much you can pick apart and dissect in this ride while you're going through it that you can get something new out of it every single time you go on. Notice a new prop, a new musical instrument or motif you maybe haven't heard before, a new piece of costuming on a pirate. Each of these pieces tells a part of the story. And that's what makes classic attractions like Pirates and in the Haunted Mansion, and even newer attractions like Expedition Everest, where there's not any words being spoken to you on the roller coaster. They're in a league of their own. Not all original classic attractions do this, by the way. The Jungle Cruise is a really good example of a story that's being told to you directly, sometimes in the case of your skipper, other times in the case of announcements being made over the radio system at the docks. So just be aware, I'm not saying new thing bad, old thing good here. I'm saying that there are different types of storytelling that you can experience in the parks, and they both have their advantages. But for me, half of the fun of the ride is just being in the environment, not having to keep track of any plot lines, just enjoying what's being put in front of me. And Pirates does that very, very well. And that's why the secret stories that are being told to us are just as important as the stories that are overtly being told to us in newer rides where we are characters. Which brings me back to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because while I haven't been on it, I actually will have by the time you're watching this video, funnily enough. After taking in the responses from people I trust and people I know, I've heard that us being active participants, being characters in Tiana's Bayou Adventure, actually sort of brings the ride down just a little bit. It hurts the story more than it helps the story, and I cannot wait until I get to experience it for myself, because goodness, it looks great. But apparently it's a noticeable issue in the ride, and I want to see if I can notice it on my first ride through. I'm not really going to be looking for it. I'm probably just going to be too busy taking all of it in, being amazed. But then on the first ride through, if it really strikes me that we are characters in a very inorganic way, I'm definitely going to make a note of that. And then that also brings us to the new Coco attraction, which is meant to be placed somewhere at Disney California Adventure at, some point. Construction begins in 2026, so maybe 2-3 years after that, we'll finally get to see it. But Josh D'Amaro said something really interesting at D23 when this ride was announced that I am actually really excited about.
Imagineers drew inspiration for this attraction from classics like The Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. You're going to see, you'll hear, you'll feel Miguel's journey to the land of the dead, to travel through colorful, expansive scenes.
We're told that Imagineers are taking inspiration from Pirates and the Mansion for this new Coco ride, which to me means that it is going to be atmospheric, it's going to be environmental. Miguel is not going to be speaking to us, telling us, hey, let's go to the land of the dead. Wouldn't that be fun? You all have to find my secret ingredient in the land of the dead so we can get back home and have a real fun party. I'm getting vibes that it's going to be what's known as a book report style ride. So think the Fantasyland dark rides where they tell the stories of their movies. And that has me really, really excited for this ride. More excited than I have been for any other rides except for maybe Test Track 3 in recent memory. You can sue me if you want. I love a good book report style dark ride. And lest we forget, a very important aspect of building the story of an attraction is not just spoken word or scenes or even animatronics and effects. It's also atmosphere. Walking into the dimly lit and musty smelling foyer of the Haunted Mansion, entering the very clean and harshly lit corridors of the Star Destroyer in Rise of the Resistance, but importantly for this video, walking into the musty, humid, damp corridors of the Pirates of the Caribbean queue, smelling that brominated water, which actually reminds me, if you are interested in telling your own stories, head to the link down in the description below and use offer code OFFHAND at checkout to save 15% off of your order at the Magic Candle Company. You can get candles like Pirate's Life. It smells like the water from Pirates of the Caribbean. Or if that's not interesting to you, you can get a candle that smells like the Haunted Mansion, or even the Tiki Room, the Enchanted Tiki Room with the Tiki Terrace candle. I'm gonna take a whiff of it real quick. Yeah, that's actually exactly correct. The Magic Candle Company has scents for all of your favorite resorts, attractions, and yes, even snacks. They have a pineapple whip candle. No, I'm not joking. Please try it out. Environmental storytelling isn't just a skull speaking to us as we're about to go down a dark drop. It's also walking into your home after a long day at work and smelling the smell of churros. But it's not just candles. They have wall diffusers for different scented oils that they sell that smell like your favorite attractions, and air fresheners. You can put them in your car, put them in your, where else do people put air fresheners? The cockpit of your favorite aircraft. I'm sure you could do that if you're a pilot. Remember, one more time, that's magiccandlecompany.com, or you just use the link in the description. You don't have to type anything, and offer code OFFHAND at checkout to save 15% off. big thank you to the Magic Candle Company for sponsoring this video. So whether you're a fan of more overt storytelling where we step into the storybook and become active participants, characters in these attractions, or you prefer to sit back, relax, and watch what happens and what unfolds in front of you, they're both valid ways to enjoy an attraction. There's just something special, I think, about the storytelling in Pirates that I thought bared mentioning here. And now that I have talked to you for the better part of 20 minutes about why not getting involved is the best possible way to confront a pirate, we're gonna move to the end card. Hey there everybody, thank you so much for watching this week's video on storytelling and the differences you can find within the Disney parks. A bit of a different one, I know. I sure hope you liked it though. I'm gonna try and get back to some Disney news next week because we have some stuff on the horizon that I think bears talking about, that bears mentioning. But I'm glad you joined me this week anyway. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, the video that is. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you're new around here and you want more videos like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want these videos to pop up in your feed every Saturday or Sunday when I upload them. We'd love to have you. We recently hit 300,000 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who helped me achieve that milestone. The 4-hour People Mover video is coming. Okay, it takes a long time to make these things. A very special thank you, of course, to all of my supporters over at patreon.com/offhanddisney. For even just $1 a month, you get access to most of the perks, including early access to videos, exclusive access to videos, and more perks that we have coming in the future that I am working on currently as we speak right now, as I record this. If that sounds interesting to you, like I said, just $1 gets you access to those perks. But if you want to go to higher tiers, you absolutely can, and you get your names in the credits of the videos at the end of the month. It's a great time. However, if you'd rather follow me for free, you can over at Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. I am at Offhand Disney on all of those different websites. Makes it easy to find me, everybody. That's about it though. I do believe that's the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again to the Magic Candle Company for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna go to Disney World now, if you don't mind. We'll see you all in the next week or so. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the video. I wanna do something Communicore Hall. I'm gonna do something Tiana. It's gonna be so fun. I'm just so excited. I got a lot to see when I go down to Disney World. And Test Track 3.0, the construction is beginning. I'm excited. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week here. Goodbye.